Coming up on your Tuesday Footy Feed, the Crows to put culture first with no guarantees, Taylor Walker returns. Mark Murphy to call it quits after game 300, and why the MCG siren can be heard from Stawell. Hello there. Well, Adelaide has refused to guarantee the return of Taylor Walker, with CEO Tim Silvers saying the club's culture will come before reintegrating the Crows veteran. Walker has taken indefinite leave from the club after he was suspended for 6 games and fined $20,000 for making a racial slur about North Adelaide player Robbie Young during a SANFL match last month. While Walker has a contract to play next season, there is now no certainty he'll fulfil it.
Yeah, it's too early to guarantee that, but he is contracted and we've got to work through a number of different people. Culture of our footy club is first and foremost, and we need to get that right and then look at reintegrating Taylor back into the club when the time is right.
In other news, at the Crows forward, Tom Lynch will explore his options after being told his contract won't be renewed for next season. The 30-year-old has managed just 9 games this year. Melbourne returned home on the red eye late last night after their wild night in the West, where they weathered a storm from both the Eagles and the Perth conditions to reclaim top spot on the ladder. With just under 16 minutes of game left to play, lightning strikes forced players from the field and started a 29-minute delay of play.
Yeah, look, it was crazy scenes. It's something we certainly haven't been involved in before. But, I think when we headed into the break, we sort of had a lot of momentum in the game. It was a bizarre circumstance and, one we hopefully we're going to have to encounter again.
And according to his rival coach, there was a higher power at play.
A bit of divine intervention, I thought. When we were playing at the start of the last, we tried to loosen up a little bit, to be honest, and then we come out and played a lot better footy in the last 15 minutes, and geez, there was a sneaky chance there for the last 5 minutes.
The Eagles making the most of the break, piling on the final 4 goals to get within 9 points. Injuries a concern for both sides post-match. Jaden Hunt and Shannon Hearn both subbed out of the game. Well, Blues veteran Mark Murphy will this week become just the 6th man to pull on the Carlton jumper 300 times, and it'll also be his last. The 34-year-old telling the group today of his decision to call time.
Yeah, I announced earlier as well to the boys and the whole playing group that this week was going to be my last game as well. So I think, to play 300 and finish on that note to be my last game. And I just realised before we're wearing the white jumper, so I won't wear the navy blue one more time. But yeah, hopefully we can get a win. I can sing the song one last time with the boys and have a few smiles after the game.
Fremantle veteran Stephen Hill will also hang up the boots at season's end, calling it quits after 218 games with the Dockers. The 31-year-old played 190 games in his first 9 seasons, but could only manage just 27 in his past 4 as he battled a number of hamstring issues. And the retirements keep coming. Tom Rockliffe hanging up the boots after a 208-game career. The power midfielder succumbing to knee injuries and a bout of deep vein thrombosis.
Every pig has his day, and that's it for me, boys. I'm going to hang them up.
The 31-year-old former Lions captain played 154 games with Brisbane before featuring 56 times for the Power. Time now for some gooder news, thanks to Toyota Good for Footy, and 2008 premiership Hawk Campbell Brown headed down to Stawell for a much-needed special delivery. The Stawell Swifts in Victoria's West have been desperate for a new siren, throwing their name into the Toyota suggestion box for an upgrade.
Well, I was just watching the ads on the telly with Bontempelli on the back of the tailgate of the ute, and this was good and that was gooder, and him hanging on to the thermos, and I thought, geez, I tell you what, this could be a good idea.
We really thank Toyota, don't worry about that, and I hope everyone's driving what I do, and without it, we're going to just keep going, weren't we? One hooked up to a battery, now we've got this great big new siren, it's going to be magnificent.
Siren sounds magnificent, yeah, nice and loud, and all the boys heard it crystal clear out in the middle of the ground.
Meantime, the former Hawk has backed President Jeff Kennett to continue to guide the club through their next phase in the wake of Alastair Clarkson's departure.
I think Jeff Kennett has always done what he believed to be in the best interests of the footy club. He's a strong president. He's definitely the man to see us through this new new period with Sam Mitchell.
Brown also praising former teammate Sam Mitchell as he prepares to lead the Hawks in 2022.
Really driven, got a great relationship with the young Hawthorn guys, obviously coaching at Box Hill, and time will tell, but I think he's going to be a very successful AFL coach.
And if you have any ideas on how Toyota can make footy gooder, head to the suggestion box at toyota.com.au/gooder. Swans midfielder Callum Mills could miss a second game in a row with a nagging Achilles issue, the same one that saw him a late withdrawal in Sydney's loss to the Saints at the weekend. Mills was one of 4 Swans players forced into isolation and away from training, something his coach thinks may have been a factor.
He's had some Achilles tendonitis for the whole year, really. He's been playing with it for the whole year, and with tendonitis, you need to keep a certain amount of load going through it. And when he was in isolation, he wasn't able to get that training load that he needed to go through it. And we felt like just before that period, we were getting on top of it.
Over at the Whitten Oval, the Dogs hit the track this morning as they prepare for a final series without forward Josh Bruce, who ruptured his ACL at the weekend.
Still processing the fact that Josh is injured, and it's it's a cruel game at times when you consider, especially his the body of work he's put in and how he's played this season. They're not someone like him and his calibre is not easily replaced.
And finally, this week's NAB AFL Rising Star nominee is Miles Bergman from the Power. He had 23 touches and 4 clearances against the Crows in Showdown 50, so well done to Miles. And that is the news for this Tuesday. Have a great night.